Hello, welcome to the Health In Show, an affiliate program of Homeopathy World Community. You've come to the right place to tune in and participate with your comments and questions. Love is the greatest healer of all. But sometimes, in order to change our emotions, we must take action in other spheres of our lives. We speak with experts in alternative and complementary health fields and hope you will benefit in some small or great way. Remember, you are wherever your thoughts are. Make sure your thoughts are where you want to be.
To the Health In Show. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and I am delighted to be here with you today. We're going to have this great conversation. It's going to be riveting, I know. So just remember, you can join us anytime you like. Put your name, nickname, whatever you like under the video, and you'll join us in our chat. And you can ask questions, comment, whatever you like. And you also can join us in our studio. You can call into 919-518-9773 and ask your questions, communicate with us in there. Tell us how you feel. Tell us your experience. That would be great. And also you can come in on Skype, and that would be to computers and then the number 2K voice. That will be voice, not video. So we don't care how you look, just care what you say. And so we'd love to have you. This is an open invitation. Please join us. We'd love to have you. So I want to thank Amnon, who is taking care of everything in the back end and producing all of this. So thank you, Amnon. All right, ready for our guest, Stefani Kavner. I'm so excited to meet you finally. The wife of one of our board members, Jonathan. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. I'm excited to be joining you. Thanks for having me today.
It's a pleasure. So tell everybody about Stephanie.
I'm an integrative nutrition health coach. I started doing that after I was very depressed after I had our first daughter, and I went through postpartum, and I noticed that there was a difference between what I ate and how I felt, and how that affected me every day. So I decided to go back to school. I'm already a clinical social worker and I'm a personal trainer. So I decided to combine those modalities to help empower women. I work with men too, but to empower people, mind, body, and spirit through nutrition, movement, and mindset.
So let's start with mindset.
Okay.
Well, how do you define mindset? What's your
Um,
philosophy around mindset?
oh, my philosophy around mindset, that's an interesting one. Mindset is, I mean, you live in your you live in your mind, right? That's where we are 24 hours a day. So making it a kind and nice place to live is important. I think that, that wasn't something that most of us grew up knowing. And it's something that is it's important to remember because your perspective is everything. At the end of this, right in your introduction, you guys spoke about that a little bit, and um, what you think and what you perceive, you are. So everything starts there. And when I work with my clients, even clients who are looking to lose weight or focus on nutrition, I really like to start with the mind first because that controls everything else in your life.
It's funny how I came to that first question, right? In building your practice and building how you work with individuals. Um, yeah, we do live in the mind. I think we need to live in our heart. I think that's part
True.
of work is 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 helping us make that kind of a simple but complicated shift into the heart, right? And then let the heart kind of do its
Lead the way.
push thing right with the head helping to carry out the actions. I think that the heart, um, but the heart and I have to watch my words because I'm living in my head, right? But I'm switching to my heart.
Right.
That's how it goes, right? So in that moment, I'm like, oh no, that's a head word. I want the heart word. So let me live in my heart in this moment. So I went from thinking, that the heart controls it, but the heart does not control. The head controls. The heart is subtle and quiet.
Mm,
So what are your thoughts about that?
I think you're dead on. I mean, um, it's hard for us as a people to understand that we have to come from this intuitive place, right? The heart place, um the knowing, right? The knowing with a G, the gnosis place. And I think that that is a connection between mind and body that not everyone has. We're so disconnected by design. And when those two things are in sync, that's when the alignment happens. That's where the beautiful parts of your life happen because these things are in sync, and then you're in flow, and flow brings everything that you need.
Yeah, I love that. That was beautiful. So, and I didn't really think of of the question before I asked. It just came, I love listening because then it's not all about me. It kind of comes and then you kind of use
Great.
it. But you got to get that mindset, heart set in order in the right place. Otherwise, the nutrition, the exercise, and all that other stuff just won't, there's no place for it to go.
Agreed.
So now tell us about the other parts and then we'll talk and bring it all together.
So they work together in tandem. So what I teach my clients is a anti-inflammatory diet. So
Now
they
you
cut
got my
out all
attention.
and they cut out all the things. And look, there's no one diet for everyone. I don't believe that. But I do like to clear this slate. So I teach them to remove all the things that are inflammatory for 30 days so that they can then see what is inflaming them. And we're not just talking about, your joints and your sinuses and your sleep. We're talking about things like brain fog and executive functioning and scatterbrainness, right? And reactivity too, because and this was my own anecdotal personal experience, but now I've done this with dozens of clients, and they've experienced the same thing. When you're inflaming your body, you're inflaming your mind, and that's preventing you from connecting to your heart. That's preventing you from um, controlling your emotions. That's preventing you from being able to think straight and
Can
have
you
mental
can you
clarity.
share before you go on, can you share and forgive me if I interrupt, but when you say something that I don't want us to lose,
Sure.
if so just so you know, I'm going to interrupt. So how does inflammation affect that stuff? How does inflaming or getting bigger in these areas, how does that interfere?
So it blocks neurotransmitters from being able to connect. It also, I mean, even from a physical aspect, if you think about it, when you're ingesting things that are inflammatory, and I'm talking about things like gluten and dairy, legumes, and not everybody has inflammation from these things, but these are the most common ones. Alcohol, sugar, those things, they're preventing your synapses from connecting. And and even from a physical aspect, there's swelling. There's swelling in the brain. So they're not able to work as clearly as they would. So when there's something like brain fog, you're not able to function as orderly or organized as you would like to. Or even from an anecdotal aspect, for myself, I couldn't control my emotions. I get overly upset or enraged from, and we'll talk about this later, I'm sure, but from a trauma response, right? Because I wasn't able to be in the present moment. We come back to those responses that we are conditioned to have, or from either childhood, or from learned behavior, or from generational, or even from past lives. So, you know, it was hard for me, and I know, and I've had this with other clients as well. It's hard to control those emotions when your whole body is inflamed, when your brain is inflamed.
Yeah, I'm an inflammation person.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you're speaking my language. I mean, and I wonder, based on your experience, and I'll tell you, I'm an open book. And
Same.
I use my life as an example, as an experiment, as
Yeah.
an example in an oops, and you know what I mean? I got all those things
Yep.
going on. So I have no problem sharing my oops, and I have no problem sharing my wins either, because we all need to we all have all of that. But I am an inflammation person. So I mean, do a lot of people I won't say experience inflammation?
Yes, for sure. I
All
mean,
age groups, all age groups.
oh, all age groups,
From
all
what?
age groups.
From
What?
what? Well, I know that I had from 10 months old. I had rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile arthritis.
Wow.
And then I've had, flare-ups when I was 7 years old, and then throughout my life, I have certain spots, but I am very lucky. I mean, not lucky. I am very fortunate. I don't believe in luck. I believe that we kind of work at this, but I don't think I'm any luckier than anybody else. So I got to take out the word luck. But I have had all kinds of experiences with inflammation. I have iritis, which is
Mm,
inflammation in my eyes.
yep.
I am doing great. I'm on, eye drops and stuff, but I'm doing great. So I'm listening very carefully for me
Okay, so
personally.
inflammation. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm
Joint
listening
pain,
for me personally, but I'm also, want to put it out to the world.
of course. So joint pain, um, sinus pressure. So we're talking about things like, because if you think about it, mucus builds up in there, right? So that can cause sinus headaches. That can cause, for me personally, I couldn't get out of bed. My sinuses were so bad, especially when the pollen count was high. I live in the Northeast. When mold, dust, pollen were an issue, that also affected my emotions. I would feel overly emotional because I would be so inflamed. Um, when we're talking about, sinus infections and congestion and upper respiratory infections, all of those things, total inflammation. Um, then add in things like sleep deprivation and insomnia. Um, what else? Oh, gut issues. That's like the number one, right? IBS. And I suffered from that for years, either constipation or diarrhea or both. Um, what else? I
Is this
mean,
and this doesn't know gender, right?
no, no, please. I mean, I know kids, oh, eczema and skin flare ups. I started this because um, our first child was diagnosed with eczema, and the doctor told me, "Oh, my kid's 12. He's still taking steroid cream, and um, he'll always have eczema. Your daughter will always have eczema." And I did my research, and I was like, "I don't think so. I think this is diet related." And sure enough, I cut things out of her diet, and her skin started clearing up, and things like depression and anxiety in myself. I mean, I had such bad postpartum depression and anxiety. I noticed that was starting to go away, and I was like, "There's something to this elimination diet. Let me keep going." And I just kept going. And the longer I did it, the better I felt. So I went back to school and was like, is there something to this? And sure enough, there is. I mean, research has confirmed that. So, um, it's not the mainstream way, you know, it's definitely an alternative
What do
thing,
you
but
mean by what do you mean? What's not mainstream?
I think that a lot of people don't want, okay, so this is this is gonna go um hand in hand, but a lot of you people use food to cope, food and alcohol and sugar, right? Because if you think about it, sugar lights up those same dopamine levels in your mind that heroin and cocaine do. So people use it as a drug. Sugar is the most legal drug out there. And you know, we're talking about, you know, a glass of wine at night, things like that. It inflames your system. So I think it's an alternative therapy because I don't think everyone understands what it's doing to their bodies. And I don't think everyone has the skills. I teach the coping skills. So when you talked about mindset before, I teach the coping skills to deal with life as opposed to stuffing down your feelings or, you know, utilizing sugar or alcohol to cope with things that are difficult in life.
So so it's interesting. So I don't think a lot of people realize that they are experiencing inflammation. I
Oh,
think
great.
it's so subtle in some cases. It's not like your fingers just swell.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's not like your toes swell. I
Right,
mean, you don't know it until you can't breathe,
right.
right? So what would you say to our audience about inflammation that's brilliant? That you know what I mean? In other words, you don't know you have it, but what is the advantage of assuming you have it? Maybe that's it. Maybe we all
Well,
assume
right,
we have it?
right. Well, it's okay. So it's caused by so many things. We're living in a toxic soup these days. So, you know, there's the radiation, and there's the 5G, and and then there's the water supply, right? So reducing inflammation in your food, at least, or what you're ingesting, means more control over your life, longevity, feeling better, looking better, um, thinking better, right? Which makes you more productive and helps you perform better. So to me, it's everything. I mean, like, because inflammation can come from other places too, it can come from stress. We live in a stressful environment. Like, it's not laid back. It's not like it was on the homestead, you know, back with our grandmothers and great grandmothers. Like, we live in a very stressful world these days, right? And it's coming from every angle. So I do think that being in control of what you put on your plate controls everything else.
How would I have gotten arthritis at 10 months old? If I mean, 10 months old, how much stress did I have?
Wow.
You know, I wasn't already eating bad foods, you
Were you
know.
breastfed?
No,
Maybe there. Right. Formula.
maybe there. So I would have had a predisposition for it.
Sure.
And do you think people have that predisposition? I mean, do you think the majority of people have some inflammation?
Oh, for sure. I think everybody does.
Everybody does. So to assume that you have it in some way, shape, or form, or that you're going to get it
Yeah,
is,
of course.
is obvious, right?
Yeah,
Any
for
age,
sure.
for sure. How does stress create inflammation?
Oh, okay. So stress taxes the body, it taxes the minds, and it so inflammation is a culmination of the choices that are being made. So it's just one other level of inflammation that comes into your body, because if you're not able to move through stress, if you're not able to cope, then it's just adding that layer on.
Got it. Okay, and then we have accidents and things that
Of
cause
course.
and all that. So, okay, so now let's talk about some like food.
Okay,
And then you also work with people in physical activity, is that correct?
I do.
So you do the mind, the
Body.
nutrition, and the
Yep.
physical body, or the spirituality piece as well. You bring it all
Yep.
together in, okay. So let's talk about what's the food look like? What
So
should we
so like I
eat?
was saying before, we do a
Well,
30-day
should we eat?
elimination diet, and that's like mostly proteins. So it's proteins, veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, and fat. And then, and like I said, everyone's different. So proteins would be things like eggs, meat, fish, chicken, lamb, beef, all of the proteins. And then we do cut out grains for 30 days because grains do cause inflammation in some people. And then, so we're eating a lot of nuts, seeds, fats, meaning like avocado, coconut oil, ghee, olive oil, sesame oil. But really staying away from any of the seed oils because those are inflammatory as well. Vegetable
Hold on
oil,
a minute. Seed
sure.
oils? Seed
Seed
oil,
oils, yeah,
but you can eat,
sunflower seed.
but you can eat seeds.
You can eat seeds, but the way that they process seed
Uh-huh.
oils, like canola oil, vegetable
Uh-huh.
oil, the way they process those are highly inflammatory.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and when you eat out, most of that stuff is cooked in vegetable oil or canola oil. So just being mindful of what you do when you're out as well. Less control over that.
Can I interrupt you 1 second?
So
And
of
I will just
course.
say this to everybody. Well, I'm gonna stop asking and just interrupt. And you can interrupt me too.
Of
Uh,
course.
what I will say is to everybody, you do the best you can. So if
Totally.
you are doing well and you go out to eat and you can't do well that night, it's all right. It's
Of
better than
course.
no night. It's better than every night being out of control or hurting you. So don't worry about it. People, they get all bent up,
They get
back.
up in their head.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
That'll then you eat good and you create
Right.
something bad because you're all bent up out of your head. Don't worry. Do the best you can.
Of
That's all
course. I
it's all
believe in an
about.
80-20 rule or a 70-30 rule. And because there has to be leeway, right? If you're not having fun, why are you doing it? We're on this earth for a short amount of time. You have to be able to have fun. But if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to feel better, if you're looking to heal, then maybe you're a little bit stricter. Maybe then you're an 80-20.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm so okay. Now you vegetarian,
No,
so you
no.
eat meat.
Yes.
Do you weigh your meat? Do you measure your meat? Do you weigh your food, measure your food? You eat whatever you want.
No, I think those methods, I mean, I understand the reasons for them, but I think that gets you up in your head.
Mhm.
And the idea is to enjoy it, right? So, like, there's no calorie counting, there's no weighing, measuring. I just, for me personally, and for my clients, we're cutting certain things out. I mean, that's restrictive enough. I'm not going to be so restrictive, and then you feel like you can't enjoy your food. We're
Right.
not looking to cause a disorder.
Right. Right. So then what happens after 30 days?
So after the 30 days, then we start bringing foods back. We see what foods agree with you and what foods don't. Some things agree with you and some things don't agree with me. Like I can't eat dairy ever. Doesn't matter if it's from the farm. It doesn't matter if it's
What
unpasteurized.
happens to you when you eat dairy?
Bloating, bathroom issues, mucus, and I'm so sensitive to the sinus stuff. So like I'll get stuffy nose. So I'm not going to say I never eat it, for my birthday, whatever, we go out, girlfriends, but I'm just really cautious about not eating it on a regular basis because it just doesn't agree with me.
See, I'm gluten free.
Okay.
I was never diagnosed with celiac,
Mhm.
but I have two daughters. One was diagnosed with celiac, and one had a wheat allergy that they never identified as celiac. So
Oh,
she
wow.
would actually break out in hives, and she would have a breathing issue when she ate wheat.
Wow.
So because I'm the autoimmune carrier, I decided years ago to be off wheat.
Yeah, we're all off weed in this house. Just doesn't agree with us. My kids have eczema. This is what started us down our health journey. My husband has Crohn's. I'm undiagnosed a lot of things, but I had IBS. I had sinus issues. I had anxiety and depression, and probably ADHD, like undiagnosed.
Well, you're standing
Um,
up, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I interviewed a gentleman a long time ago. Amnon might remember, and he asked me if he could stand up because he was diagnosed with ADHD, and he did
interesting.
not want to sit down during the interview. And I'm like, sure, do
That's
whatever.
not my reason, though. I had my reason. It might be because of the ADHD, but I had a hip issue last year, and it was from sitting for so long.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't love to sit.
Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
see, you so case in point, this is not what we're talking about, but everything deals with mindset, heart set, any
Yes.
emotional anything. And so if you noticed what just went on between Stephanie and I just now, and I could talk to Stephanie all day long, we had an engagement where I can't assume I know what she's going through, nor can you assume what anybody is going through. There was an engagement right now, and I am happy not to be right. I am happy to ask the questions. I am happy not to know. You don't have to know either, because that will definitely help your mindset if you don't have to know everything.
Yes, for sure. You know what? Uh, Speaking of mindset, I think openness is a very big part of that. There's five different. I forgot what the five different personality traits were, but openness was one of them. Openness, communication, um,
Curiosity, maybe
curiosity. Well, curiosity goes
openness
to
to the
openness,
same.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but those things help you to connect mind and body. Um, the less open you are, the less you're going to be willing to change that mindset, and the more stuck and stagnant you're going to be.
Yeah, and no matter what I think no matter what people believe, you stuck in being stagnated doesn't feel good. Even if you
No,
think you're doing what you feel like you should do and you're in the right place, if it's psychologically in the right place, but you're not in the right place, you're not in the right place.
no,
And your
no.
mindset, heart set will know it,
Yes, for
right?
sure. And
And you
there's a lot of modalities to use for mindset. I mean, like, seeing that this is a homeopathy, I hope it's okay to talk about, but like my biggest I love working with flower essences. Like, flower essences are the best for mindset because they're so gentle. They're gentle, they're easy to use. There's really nothing to them. You can get them everywhere, like
are you
flower
making your
essences.
own?
We do. Jonathan and I created our own
So let me
brand.
just explain. So Jonathan, so our audience knows, is a member of the Homeopathy World Community Board. He is a homeopath. You do not have to be a homeopath on this show. I am not a homeopath. I am a supporter. I'm an advocate. I'm a believer. I'm a user. I'm a doer. But I am not a homeopath. But we
Same.
welcome,
Same.
but we welcome all people.
Yes. I'm a huge proponent for homeopathy. I love it. I've got huge results from it over the years. If you want, I'll share that.
Oh yeah, share
Um,
everything.
sure. So, I mean, like I said, I'm an open book too. So, I've I was depressed. I was angry. I've used it for lots of physical ailments as well as emotional. and psychological ailments. And it's probably helped me peel back so many layers of myself. Um, and then I've used it with my kids and their eczema as well, and gotten a ton of results with them too. Um, but I am a huge proponent for flower essences, not just because my husband and I created our own blends, but because I've gotten a lot of results for myself and for my clients. I feel like flower essences are super gentle. They're made to work on your negative fears, anxieties, and emotions, and they're easily accessible. You can just order some from, Amazon, or get them at your local Whole Foods or natural food store. But we all have different anxieties and fears. So honing in on those specific ones has been huge. Um, my husband and I created our own blends for things that you see every day: sleep issues, anger, anxiety, confidence, performance, feel like you're not motivated, couple of spritzes of flower essence, and then you're back to working. So I think that helps get into a good mindset. And it's something gentle and cheap, like you don't have to spend thousands of dollars at a practitioner to get the results that you want.
You know, I love how you're sharing all this really because as you all can tell, Stephanie is not saying come see me.
Right.
You can come see her, but
Sure.
you can also, I mean, it's more about the work. It's more about the
Right.
results. I mean, we all do this stuff because we also like I when I'm coaching my clients and I am sitting in whatever chair I'm sitting in, whether it's my big black chair in my office or my bench here and I'm talking on Zoom or wherever, I do it ethically. I don't do it because I don't have experience. As you can
Of
tell,
course.
we're opening up about personal experience, whether it's emotional, physical, whatever it is. We've had it. I've had it. So when I coach from a place of I've had it. I may not have had exactly how you've had it. I may not have felt exactly, but I've come close enough times, unfortunately, that I can relate. And so can Stephanie. And this is really important because it's a jungle out there. There's all kinds of products, there's all kinds of services, there's
Right.
all kinds of intelligence and this is a cliff note. If you all remember what cliff notes are those little pamphlets that sum up a book. Now you can go online, you can do it digitally, but we are summing it up because we want you to have this information as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, Stephanie, do you do remote work? Like
I
consult?
do.
Okay, so
I
tell everybody
do.
what you do.
So I do mental health counseling with my clients. I do integrative nutrition health coaching, which includes mental health counseling and helping clients either come up with better coping skills to um, to their eating issues, or lose weight, get healthier, heal any sort of inflammation they have in their bodies. Um, and I do personal training as well. So it's really a mind body experience. I do also do groups with women,
Good.
and that's like a 6 month group. It's a
And
six
how do
month
people
commitment.
find you? How do people find you?
Oh, I have an Instagram handle. It's Long Island Holistic Healing,
Okay.
or on Facebook, or you can just email me at Stephanie at Long Island Holistic Healing.
Okay. Perfect. Because we want people to be able to access this. And if you have trouble, reach out to me and I will help you at Marilyn at MarilynShannon.com. Now, there's a question from Deepak
Sure.
on the chat. And this is a great question. So it's what's your opinion about intermittent fasting for good health? Now, I want to add a little piece to that. And that is, I recently heard that intermittent fasting is better for men than it is for women. So when you answer this question, if you can, touch
Sure.
upon that as well, that would be great.
Sure. So I like intermittent fasting. Um, I think for women, it's just a shorter window than men. You know, we think we have to go like 16 hours and only eat in this little 8 hour window. But for women, I think a 12-hour window is perfect. You stop eating, I just say 7, 8 o'clock. I stop personally at like 7 o'clock. And then I don't eat. I probably do the closer to 16 hours. Um, because that works for my body. But then you don't eat until just say 7, 8 the next day. Depending on what time you wake up, maybe you extend it a little bit longer. Um, it makes sense that you're not eating so late before you go to bed anyway, because your body needs to digest. It needs time to rest and digest before you want to sleep on full stomach. That's going to interrupt your dreams. That's going to interrupt your body's rest time. Your
Wait,
body
hold on a
needs.
minute. Hold on a minute. So
Sure.
interrupt your dream. So if you eat late before you go to
Yeah.
bed,
Yeah.
interrupt your dreams, rest. Not a good idea to do then.
No, definitely not. Your body
Okay.
needs to have that digestive time before it gets to actually get into the rest period. And the rest period needs to be uninterrupted. The most work that your body's doing is digesting food. So that takes a lot of energy out of your body. So if your body is digesting food while you're sleeping, it's taking away from your rest.
Wow.
Yeah,
How common sense how common sensey is that? I mean, seriously, that is a common sense kind of thing.
for
Wow.
sure.
Okay. And what about
So and
go
then
ahead.
when you get up in the morning, you know, if you're an early bird and you're getting up and you're getting, I personally don't like to work out on a full stomach. So I work out in the morning and then I eat. Um, it gives my body that time to metabolize all those foods better. Um, so I'm a fan of intermittent fasting. I think that it's great. I think that it gives your body um, exactly what it needs. The window doesn't have to be as long as you think. You know, I'm not expecting anyone to starve themselves. Don't don't go to bed hungry. You know what I mean? But at the same time, don't go to bed on a full stomach.
Okay. And women just don't do it as long or
Just don't do it as long.
just don't. And then and I think, some things we just have to experiment with and tweak,
Uh,
you know?
Personally, that's your. This is when you were saying before. I was going to say we're here to guide you, and we're here to help you along. But at the end of the day, I'm here to empower people to take care of their own health, and I'm sure that's what you're doing as well. Yeah, I don't think that I think that if it feels right intuitively, you'll know.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's really important. It's like I know this is a stupid analogy or can be stupid, but it's kind of like a franchise. I would rather, you know, as a coach, and I think for you as well, as a therapist and everything that you do, if you're going to own a franchise, it's better to own a piece of a franchise because you can't if you own one, you're not you're limited, right? It's the
Mhm.
same thing with what we're talking about. If we think everything has to come through us or anybody, any therapist, anybody who does any good modality, if we encourage you to come only to us, we're not helping you any. Because we can't do enough. There's too much of this out there. We need to help you learn, be here for when you want to review, you know, do the work you got to do. But it's very important that you are empowered to know this stuff so that you can, in any given moment, make the best suggestions for yourself and opportunities. You can't, because nobody's with you all the time. It's very important. And this is pervasive. And it's subtle, and the stuff comes in into all kinds of ways. And you just got to know. So I'm so happy that Stephanie is like saying, go to Whole Foods, go over here, just try,
Yes. Go
you know,
experiment and work and figure
go
out what
experiment.
works for you. Because I don't know what works for
Have you
you.
written a
You know
book
what
about
works for
this?
you.
Have you written any books about this yet?
In the middle of writing a journal.
Okay, you need one. Have you heard of Polliner? Is it Michael Polliner?
Michael Pollan, I love him.
Oh, I just read two of his books.
Yeah, which ones?
I read This Is Your Brain on Drug. This is
Yeah,
your
yeah.
right. And then the one app before that about food and
Was it
eating
Food
it.
Rules?
Well, you were saying this about enjoying yourself, and that book was all about food and enjoying the food you eat.
That's
You
great.
know, and it was all about plants and all the things that are available. The two books were great. I would highly recommend. It's easy to read. I am not a scientist.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't.
he writes great books. They're so easy to read and they're so commonsensical. Like
Yes.
his book called Food Rules is just it's about eating from the earth. So like if it doesn't come from a package, then it's healthy for your body. Right? So if it's a fruit, it's a veggie, if it's from the earth, then it's for you. And I kind of abide by those rules too. You know, when my clients go to look at packaged foods, I'm telling them to look at the things that are in it, make sure that they're whole foods and not some sort of chemical or toxin or something else like
If
that.
you can't read
Um,
it, you don't want to eat it.
exactly.
If you can't say it, you don't want to eat it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest rules. And he also came out with a Netflix series, How to Change Your Mind. Did you watch that?
No, not yet.
It's probably similar to the book because it's about
Okay.
the different drugs, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
about the psychedelic drugs and
Right.
mushrooms and all that stuff.
So I've recently been doing a microdosing journey with
Me too.
psilocybin.
Me too.
Okay,
We need to
interesting.
talk about that. Oh, will you come on and talk with us more about this?
Sure, sure. It's been amazing. So yeah,
Oh my gosh, we are too.
that's great. I love
Yeah.
it. I want to know what you think.
Oh well, I love it, and I mean we're free to talk about anything we want here. So
Sure.
we always create these kind of wonderful safe spaces because we can't be controlled over these things, and it's important that you have a place that you can come to where we get it. Even if we don't do it, we can get a lot of things.
Right.
So we've started microdosing back in December,
Okay.
and and then we've replenished. So we're on our second thing. We do it every 3 days.
Yeah.
Then I'm also
Fadiman protocol.
I'll say that again.
Fadiman protocol.
What do you mean by that?
So there was a guy named Fadiman
Oh,
who created this protocol.
the one the from Fabulous Fungi. Are you talking? You're not him. You're not talking
That's no,
to him.
that's Paul Stamets.
Yes, that's who. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But this guy Fadiman, he created this protocol, and it's every 3 days, so that you're rewiring the brain in a certain way.
Right.
We're doing it for. This is supposed to be an 8-week journey. I'll probably do it for 12 weeks, and this is an 8-week guided journey. Do you have someone guiding you through it?
Well, I work with some psychiatrists who are doing it too.
Okay.
So
Cool.
they've all, I mean, everybody has said, Marilyn, just do it. And I want to guide, I want to guide people with this.
Yes, Sam.
So we need to talk a lot more.
Yes, let's do that.
I want to, because I know what the subtleties are with this.
Mhm.
So it's so interesting how it affects you.
Well, it brings your flaws right to the surface.
Oh, it sure does. And your self-esteem.
For sure. For sure. And I think that if it was a different time and place, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. But because I'm in a good headspace and I have the coping skills, um, this was something that's helping me grow and develop and becoming better at my craft and helping me better in my home life too. I mean, it's helping me become a better mom and have more compassion. It's helping me understand my kids better. It's helping me want to be with them more in a more compassionate and loving way.
Yeah, you really need somebody to talk to while you're doing it. You really
Oh, for
need
sure.
somebody who can help you process some things.
Right.
Um, and I would agree with you on everything you said, which is interesting. And I'm also taking a mushroom combination mushroom for gut health,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and we're also taking something for brain and something for immunity.
Are you doing all this, the Paul Stamets ones?
Yes,
So lion's mane is
yes,
great. That's really
yes,
helping.
yes.
Yeah. And I was doing that before I was doing this journey, but it's only helps with the clarity. I mean, like, so you feel like your brain works in new and exciting different ways.
Yeah, and I have more energy.
Yeah.
There is no question I have more energy. I am 69 years old, and most days I want to take a nap around 3 o'clock.
Mhm. Of
That's the time I came home from school when I was growing up. I guess I must
course.
have taken a nap. I mean,
Right.
my body is just
Naps
wants
are
to
great.
nap. And but I lately I haven't had that desire.
Oh, that's great.
And so but it's the breaking down of the ego
Oh
that
my gosh. Yes.
is
We can
key.
have a whole other show about that. But yes. And for me, I didn't realize how much I tied my self worth into what I do for a living. Um, I started my career after I had my first, and I went through all that depression. And I really was tying in my self worth to what I did and the results I was getting with people. And that's not why I'm in this. I'm in this to help people. Like it's not about money. It's not about anything else but helping people get better and being able to feel their best. So I had to take a step back and breaking down the ego was the biggest thing that happened with the mushrooms, but it was a blessing. And I'm so glad that I did it. And I will continue to use this in transformational journeys with my clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, I one of the doctors that I'm working with is just waiting for the federal FDA eh, to make it okay because I mean, for post-traumatic stress syndrome, which
Yeah.
is pretty key because so many people have traumas, and a lot of the doctors I work with focus on substance use.
Mm,
So it's got a lot of possibilities in that arena. So there's a lot we
sure.
can talk about. But this has been great. I mean, there is so much more to uncover. One, I want to ask you just quickly,
Sure.
keto.
Okay. Um, uh, I don't love keto.
Okay.
I don't hate keto. I see the benefits of keto, but I think that the way we've gone is people overloading on cheese and things that are just not healthy for the body, right? So like they're overloading on bacon, they're overloading on cheese. There no vegetables or fruits. I mean, like,
How is that possible, right?
right? How could that be good for you? Like you're missing out on all those nutrients that you could be getting if you were eating those things. So I don't hate it, but yeah, I don't
Okay.
think it's the best. I think
So,
that
okay,
short periods of time.
that's the ticket right there.
Right. Like if you're looking to lose weight in a quick amount of time, sure, go for it. But what's all that cheese doing to your body? What's it doing to your arteries? Like who knows? And then and same thing for bacon. I mean, I love bacon. Don't get me wrong, but and then the lack of the fruits and veggies. That's we need
Okay.
those things.
Perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Okay. So tell everybody again where they will find you.
Okay, you can find me at Stephanie, Stefani, at Long Island Holistic Healing .com. That's my email address. Or you can find me on Instagram at Long Island Holistic Healing or Facebook, same thing, Long Island Holistic Healing.
That's perfect. And I'm going to reach out to you on Instagram. I have become an influencer on Instagram. which
Oh,
I'm
exciting.
really excited about. Yes, I'm working at it. And I mean, anybody can work at it, but again, this is for a reason. I mean, I'm
Sure.
not doing it for just the fun of it. I'm doing it because we want to help and we want to send out messages.
Right.
So you and I will connect on Instagram. If you're all out on Instagram, please
Yeah.
find me. Marilyn Listens on Instagram. I do post a lot of videos. I'm on Facebook and all of that. And as far as Homeopathy World Community, as you know, this is a subsidiary. Please go to our website at homeopathyworldcommunity.com. Join us every month, the second Tuesday in the month, where we do another show, and we're going to have Stephanie back for sure. We do a book club. We have all kinds of events coming up and educational opportunities. Please go to our website. If I can be of any service, let me know. You can find me at marilynshannon.com. So, Stephanie, final words of wisdom.
Oh, final words of wisdom. Remember that your mind and body are connected. So if your body is saying something to you, if there's a symptom, if things are hurting or you're having issues sleeping, your body's screaming out for help. So listen to it.
And how do you listen? What are the things that you will hear?
Well, not suppressing it with some sort of pharmaceutical, and leaning into it and seeing what it's saying to you. Why
Right.
aren't you sleeping? Why are you in pain?
Exactly. You're going to find those things. You're going to see you're not sleeping. Maybe you're feeling a little bit, anxiety.
Yeah.
You are feeling swollen. Maybe there's muscles that are hurting. Maybe you're not, able to walk as much as you would like to walk. Maybe your lower back is hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Got a headache. You have sinus fatigue, adrenal fatigue when your adrenal glands are swelling up. Your
Your
nose,
body wants to express.
your body.
So,
There you go.
right?
Tell them.
So what is it expressing? And if it is, try not to squelch that. Try to listen to it and see what it's saying and maybe work through that pain.
And what's a food besides cheese? Because we have another minute, and this has been on my head. What's a food that besides cheese people should not eat that is inflammatory besides tomatoes?
Besides gluten, besides gluten and cheese, sugar. Sugar's the biggest culprit, and it's in everything.
And it is in everything, and you got to look. And it's
got a million different names, right? So if it's tapioca syrup or brown rice syrup or corn syrup and anything that's corn, right, is usually some sort of sugar. And that's also GMO.
What is that stuff?
Oh, like erythritol, yeah,
that's
sucralose.
That's a bad thing. That hurts.
All the oases.
Yeah, they hurt. So
yeah.
Stay away from them. And the sugar, you got to read it, because even cooked foods, I went to Wegmans one day and went to get cooked shrimp. And when I read the little thing on the glass thing, it said shrimp. It said sugar.
Sugar.
They put sugar in the shrimp. So you can't assume that it ain't there. Assume it is and look.
Yeah.
It's very important. So with that, Stephanie, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.
It's been great. Jonathan, thank you. Everybody out there, we'll see you next month. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.